We're in. So DMC has done it again. He has taken Mad Little Pixel's SNES Classic, NES Classic image and made it even better. I just want to tell you right off the bat what I love about it is when you jump on a game, you get the artwork, so if you're scrolling fast, you can still see it. But when you let go, you get the video snap transition. This is great because video snaps in general are a little laggy. I mean, it takes a second for them to start. So this really does make for a seamless build. Now, so before it was just Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Then they added Super Famicom and Family Disk System, some Japanese non-US releases. And now, version 3, not only do you have the video snaps, you have all the other stuff, but now you have Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Virtual Boy, and you still have those all collections, and Nintendo 64 and Game & Watch. Game & Watch are rocking 56 games, Mickey Mouse being one of my favorites, but Donkey Kong is great as well. All these cool Game & Watch games. Wow, and the Game & Watch games have video snaps as well. That's great. There's not a lot of images that have the video snaps as well. So it looks like for the ones that have it. So Engine Room, no video. Escape, no video. Okay, let's see Mario Brothers. Okay, Mario Brothers has a video snap. There you go. So some video snaps on there. You got Nintendo 64, and this is what I was really liked, is that he took my Nintendo 64 list of games that I said are either runnable or decent, and he added them to here. So 100 Nintendo 64 games. A lot of people complain about Nintendo 64 games that actually run on the Pi. So here's a list of 100 that should run. I mean, not all these are perfect, but you know, they'll run just fine. Gex, Golden Moon, nice. So you still got some Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. Some of these games will run better with an overclock, as well as if you run the settings a little lower. But other than that, they run. I mean, people have seen me play South Park. I've got pretty far in that game on the Pi. Pod Racer runs. I'm not sure about Shadows of the Empire. It should. But yeah, there you go. So now, with everything all said and done, this 32 gigabytes rocking 5,140 games. Now there is one caveat. So far I've been praising it. I love these collections of the systems. And when you make your way over here, you get the actual SNES, NES, Famicom Classic releases, right? Because the first Famicom was 1983, but the re-release in 2016. And you get the 30 titles that were released with the re-release with video snaps and JPEGs, box art, title screens. So it's beautiful. It has all those great collections. So as far as the ultimate Nintendo image, 32 gigabyte, this is going to be it for the Raspberry Pi. More good news before I go into the bad news. It is good for Pi 0, 1, 2, and 3. So if you got a Pi 0, the Nintendo 64 games will not run. I can tell you that right now. Probably the Game Boy Advance as well. But you could still get the Famicom, the NES Classic, Super Famicom, SNES, and the like. You have your favorites, your last played, all those collections that come with the newer version of RetroPie. But now the bad news. The bad news is this image is quite large. You are going to need an SD card that can handle, I think it's 31, let's see here, 30. It's 29.7 gigabytes, and it's 31,914, let's say 915 when you round up bytes. So 31,915,000,000 bytes. So you are going to need an SD card that can handle that. The Samsung Evo will probably work. The SanDisk may work, but the best bet is to go with the SanDisk Evo. That's where I've had the best bet with the most amount of space. Otherwise, you're going to have to go with the 64 gigabyte card, which are super cheap right now, so that shouldn't be a problem. That's what I'm doing. I'm running this on a 64. Or you can run PiShrink. And it's just a couple more extra steps, but if it was me, I just put it on a 64 with the cost of 64 gigabyte SD cards now. So let's check it out. You should have bezels as well. So 1943, if we launch a game, you have these cool boot up screens, loading screens, and you have bezels. So right off the bat, Nintendo bezel. Really good stuff. So you go right in. Yes, this is okay. And there you are. So you got the classic Nintendo look. It looks like a CRT in the bezel. Looking good, looking good. And there you go, you're playing. Pi 0, Pi 1, Pi 2, Pi 3, no problem. Let's try F-Zero X. So cool little Nintendo 64, high def, HD. So when I first loaded the game, my gamepad wasn't working, so go ahead and press select and X on your controller, go over to settings here on the main menu, then go to input, then go over to input user 1 binds, and then go down to user 1 bind all, and just go ahead and set up your Nintendo 64 controls here. Nintendo 64 runs on MuPen, so the controls are a little different, so you want to go ahead and bind them here. I had to on my Logitech F710. Just go through the prompts here, and then once you're done, you do need to make sure that you save this. If you were just to exit, it will not save. Your controls will not be fixed. It'll be back on the old one because you never saved it. So it's just going to default to what it was before. So as you can see here, I'm done now. I press back, which is B, B again, and then on this menu here, go to configuration, configure save on exit, turn that no to a yes, go to quick menu, and then resume. And as you can see, I can steer now. I'm steering. All right. All right, now we're rocking and rolling. So am I going to be able to kill these guys or what? It's 5th still. I feel like I passed a lot of people. Oh boy. What lap are we on here? Oh. Second? Okay. Where's first? Staying in the center. There we go. First. I think we got it. Nice! Novice first. Okay, so as you see, N64 runs just fine. Pretty good stuff. You got your Game & Watch, Game Boy, Game Boy Color. Oh, as far as the actual things, what do we have here? We have Famicom, 355. Family Disk System, 149. 789 NES. 512 Super Famicom. 786 Super Nintendo. It also does have Star Fox 2. 100 Nintendo 64 games hand-selected by yours truly. Game & Watch, 56. Game Boy, 707. Game Boy Color, 533. Game Boy Advance, 1129. Virtual Boy, 24. And then we have our collections. We've got the Famicom Classic Collection, 30. The NES Classic Edition, 30. The Super Famicom Classic, 21. Super Nintendo Classic, 21. All of them put together. 5140. Running a new version of RetroPie. You can do video screensavers. You can do a screensaver with galleries. You can do it all. It's all set up for you. So as you heard, this does have the NES Classic music on it. So what you want to do if you want to get rid of it is just go into your file manager in RetroPie setup or in RetroPie menu, and then go over to RetroPie, then go to ROMs, and then go to music, and then click F8, F8 to delete, yes, yes, and then F10 to exit, and then go ahead and restart your Pi. I'm going to have to give this one an A-. The reason I don't give it an A is because it's a little big. I think a lot of people are going to be upset that it doesn't fit on a lot of 32 gigabyte SD cards. But other than that, it's gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I think if you were to Pi shrink this, it's now an A. So that's all it would require to jump up another half a grade. But other than that, great work on DMC, great work on Mad Little Pixel, great work on Ruckage for making this beautiful theme, and great job on the retro community for, you know, we have the SNES Classic, and where we're, you know, making versions of it that are, if I think, are way cooler. Like if I could have this image on a Pi versus a SNES Classic, I would pick this image on a Pi with a good controller, like a GameSir F710, or, you know, you can get SNES controllers for like $5-6 a piece now. So for those reasons, it's awesome. A-. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.